Welcome to the Business Spotlight. My name is Jada Walker. I am your host for today's conversation, and my guest today is Carson Harais. He is the co-founder of CRE8 Financial. We'll be talking about his business, journey to business ownership, challenges, best practices, and share a peek at what it's really like to build and operate a business. So, Carson, thank you so much for being on here today and welcome. I would love for you to share a little bit of your background, of who you are, and tell us a little bit about your business as well.
Yeah, thanks so much, Jada. Appreciate it. So a couple months ago, I founded CRE8 Financial with a business partner, John Blair, who has been in kind of the accounting firm space for a while. And what we do is we provide outsourced accounting services specifically for the commercial real estate market. So these are operators and developers who need some of the accounting services, like kind of that high level without some of that full-time cost. So think about more as like almost a fractional controller level of service there.
I like that. So, how did you guys decide to start this company instead of maybe going and working for another company that's like this, or if there even is another company like this? Because I don't think I've heard of anything like it. So, I definitely want
Yeah,
to hear that.
it's pretty niche market for sure, accounting specifically for commercial real estate. But yeah, I think I've always been in the commercial real estate space in in-house accounting teams, and so my business partner and I had a conversation once, and just being able to provide the same level of service that I have been for the last 10 or so years being in this industry, just to a lot more people. Maybe those operators and developers who may be a little bit smaller or can't afford some of the high level of service that you need from really day one in order to um, have informed decision making with your financials and some of your accounting work. Just being able to provide that level of service there, and so just kind of doing it for more people instead of just one
Just like a
company.
right, because like it is like there's a lot of people or a lot of businesses that need that for their business. Or I mean, I don't know if people use that personally. Like, could you use that personally? Like, in
Depending
like
on
your
kind of your ownership structure, definitely. Yeah. I mean,
oh, cool.
you could self own. There are plenty of solo developers and operators out there who may need this level of service as well. So we're kind of playing in
Oh,
between the full time hire
yeah.
and a generalist bookkeeper, and so the generalist bookkeeper may not know the ins and outs of your business, and so our expertise and experience in it just be able to provide a lot more value than they may otherwise.
Cool. So let's set the stage for our viewers and listeners. So, generally speaking, what does your current ownership structure look like? Because you are a co-founder. So, how does that work with your other co-founder? Like, why didn't you just decide, like, I'm just going to start this business and then maybe just bring him in as like an employee type of thing, or, vice versa type? I'm
Yeah,
just very
definitely.
curious.
Yeah. So back in October, John and I had sat down. He currently runs an accounting firm that does fractional CFO work. So a little bit higher level, and his niche market that he's in is the e-commerce space. And so he's always
Okay.
been interested in real estate. He owns a portfolio of single family rentals, and
Nice.
mainly for him and a lot of people, it's the depreciation aspect that they get on some of their tax savings there. But we sat down and we were able to kind of discuss. Okay, I think we could both. He brings a lot of the accounting firm knowledge, having already founded one himself. I bring a lot of the commercial real estate background. And so I think it just made sense from us for the beginning to partner up together. And so we're both 50-50 partners. And so I'm doing a lot of the day to day operations. He also happens to be doing a lot of the marketing and sales with his other firm, Free to Grow. And so he's doing kind of that same sales and marketing effort here at CRE8.
That's cool. So how do you guys, well, at least him, because I don't think if I mean, wow, I can't speak today. I may have misheard you. He already has a financial firm. So how does he kind of split up his time between the two?
Yeah, so I think a lot of his sales and marketing efforts that he's doing now with Free to Grow, he because he's in such a niche market, he's able to he gets a lot of inbound leads, and so there's not as much outbound sales that he's doing, and so he's able to balance that time here. He also just gets a lot of inbound leads that may be more of a fit for our firm, and so he's able to provide kind of the I call it he's the accounting go-to guy. So he's able to help
Okay.
pretty much anyone in any situation with their accounting and finance needs, depending on what they
Nice.
are. And so, yeah, if one firm's a
Oh,
better fit, he's able to kind of direct them in that direction.
that's awesome. I'm like, I need people like that in my life, just generally every day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, teach me something. That's so cool. So whenever you look at your role, how many hours do you kind of spend working in the business, like on the job, and then how many do you spend on the business with strategy and planning?
Yeah. So given that we just started the business January 1st of this year, and I went full time on operations just last month. I will say a lot of my time currently is being done with onboarding, and so we have 4 clients currently, and so onboarding those clients, kind of understanding their businesses, their unique needs, um, where they're taking their company, but also being able to understand their financials is definitely taking up a lot of my time. But over time,
Yeah.
that will start to scale down, and I'll be able to focus more on some of the strategy stuff. John and I do follow EOS, which is a framework for running a business. And so we have had a few different days of strategic planning there where we follow that guideline and are able to do that. But I'd say the majority of my time, given that I'm kind of the service provider here right now, as the sole service provider, is mostly on that.
Okay. Well, that's crazy. You just started it like 2 months ago. That's so
Mm-hmm.
wild. And already 4 clients. Man, I'm like, that's, I feel like, I'm like, I don't know if that's fast, but I feel like that's kind of fast for at least only being um a company for 2 months. But yeah, that's wild. I like
Yeah,
that. You guys work
it's
fast.
I think it kind of shows a couple different things there. That one, our niche just needs this service, and
Yeah.
then two, um, just that we gave ourselves a little bit more runway than we are needing, which is great. But
Yeah.
so yeah.
So what would you think makes your business so unique? Like, since it's newer and a lot of people don't know about it,
Mhm.
what do you think makes it so unique so far?
Yeah. I think that our biggest unique factor that we bring is that we just know commercial real estate. We're the experts on it. I've been in, I think I ran the numbers on this recently, and I've managed or been the controller for $350 million worth of real estate. And so
Wow, that's
it's just,
awesome. Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
just being able to understand some of those deals at the level and complexity that um, these owners and operators need, um, that you just may not get at some of those other generalist firms that
Yeah.
may not just know the ins and outs of your business.
So since you guys are newer, do you guys have like a space that you guys work in, or is it kind of just virtual, or like you kind of meet? I don't know how it kind of goes. Like, because you guys have
Mhm.
clients, but do you meet with them in person, or is it kind of like a virtual type of thing?
Yeah, most of our client interactions are going to be virtual. That being said, the industry itself is a little old school compared to most. And
Yeah.
so the ability to meet in person, most of our clients are local right now. And so that's not something that's
Oh,
we're
nice.
avoiding at all for any reason. And
Right.
especially as they do have unique situations, sometimes it is better to just sit down and be in a room together and just kind of learn that way, and
Yeah.
provide our services. But John's also local here to Austin, so me and him are able to sit down in person as well.
Nice. I'm like, I just imagine you guys at like a coffee shop or one of those little work areas
Yep.
that they have around here in Austin. I'm like, they have
Yeah,
so many, and they're so nice too, man.
they are. Yeah.
So, why do you think your customers or your clients choose you instead of the competitors?
Yeah, I think we're just able to provide not only the accounting and back office support, but We do provide a little bit more in the way of, for example, our developers, when they are, uh, they're under construction on a deal, we're able to manage that draw process. So they're getting funding from either equity partners or their lender while things are being constructed. And so we're able to manage that process. Having worked for developers, I understand most of what's going to happen, and can anticipate those needs before the needs arise. And so, on top of that, I'm also a CPA. That being said, we won't provide tax preparation services, but we do offer some tax efficiency guidance. And so
Okay.
we're able to, because I probably know more than the average person when it comes to taxes, we're able to kind of help with some entity structuring, as well as making sure that the financials and taxes ultimately are reflected of the economic reality of those deals that are going on. The organizational structures in some of these real estate deals can get pretty complex pretty quickly, and so
Right.
having someone who's been in that and understands it before they're presented with it is super helpful, and for not only clients but for us being able to provide that service.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I wish I knew more about taxes. Like, of course, I know how to file my taxes, but I'm like, I don't understand. I don't even understand how to read the tax form. Whenever I'm filling out for like a new, like the papers you have to fill out when you get a new job, and they're like, "What do you want to claim?" or whatever it is. I have no
Right.
idea. I always have to call my mom, and I'm like, "Where do I put the one?" or like, "Where does the zeros go?" I don't know what it is. I'm like, "Help, lady."
Definitely. Yeah.
I'm just like, there should be classes for that, like in high school. I just feel like these are classes like this real world stuff that we actually need in life.
Hmm.
That should be learned in school instead of some of this other stuff that we don't really need. Like I
Right.
haven't
Right.
like what is I haven't used the what is it the Pythagorean theorem. I
There
haven't
you
used that
go.
formula since high school. Can't even pronounce it anymore.
Yep. Yep.
That's so funny. So let's talk about marketing a little bit. I think you kind of mentioned it a little bit earlier with you said John does some of the I think you said he does some of the marketing,
Yeah, he
or
has
at
more of
least
the
for like his.
experience in it. Hmm.
So I'm always curious. I know you guys are newer, so you probably don't really have these numbers, but do you know what percentage of your monthly sales is invested back into your marketing budget?
Yeah. I'd say our marketing budget is pretty much zero right now.
That's okay.
We the majority of
I
our
figured. I
marketing
was like, you're
efforts.
newer, so I wouldn't even worry
Right.
about it.
Right. The majority of our marketing efforts are cold outreach. I'm posting on LinkedIn far more than I'm used
Okay.
to. But it,
I didn't
which
even
just,
realize people use LinkedIn like Facebook and stuff until
mhm,
I started doing these interviews, and I was just like, man, you guys have so many followers and you post so much. I
right.
was mind blown.
Yeah. Especially in the B2B space. It's
Yeah.
pretty incredible just how much you'd think that people looking for services like ours are there. And so just being able to provide and tell people like, hey, we provide this. If you are experiencing these similar problems that maybe I'm outlining in a post, we just want to connect with them on that level, describe maybe some situations that we can help out with. And so,
Oh,
yeah, I
cool.
think that so
Because I'm
far the
also like
inbound
that's
leads,
kind of educational as well. I'm about to follow
totally.
your LinkedIn just so that I can look at those.
Yeah.
That is
Um,
awesome.
yeah, it's definitely outside of my comfort zone, but in order to
Yeah.
provide that value, it's something that we just got to tell people that we do. And so, it's totally worth it in the end.
Right, because someone could just come across it and they don't know what they don't know until they see it, and it's like, wow, like I wish I would have known that before I just went and did this because I could use that. That's happened to me
Exactly.
so much recently. I'll be talking about something and then I'll go and do whatever I need to do because it has to be done that day or whatever, and then I'll get on social media and then there's a video explaining to me how I could have did it faster or just an easier process, and I'm like, why didn't this pop up 2 days ago when I actually needed it?
It's
I'm like,
funny how the
man,
algorithm works.
right? I'm like, work before my brain does or before I need the problem. Like, do it
Right.
as like that or something because you don't need it afterwards.
Hmm.
So, moving from marketing to sales, what does your guys' sales process look like?
Yeah, so generally we're going to do an audit of financials for someone who's um, interested. So we'll do it in intro call, kind of just describe what we're doing a little bit further. If they don't know already, our website and kind of our LinkedIn posts are going to be the majority of our information that we're going to outline on an intro call, anyways. But in the case they haven't gone through it, that information, we'll outline it a little bit more detail, kind of build that trust there between us and a potential client. We'll then do an audit of the financial situation if there is one. I've run into a few potential clients that don't have any kind of accounting, so we'll do all the setup for them. But then we'll tailor each of our offerings to that client and their specific needs, just because each owner and developer just could be very different in how they're structured or what their needs are in that way. And so we'll be able to tailor that. Most of our clients are going to be on a monthly retainer basis. There's a few situations in which we'll do project work, but like for example, I'm doing a cleanup right now for people who are needing to file taxes, which by the way, for corporates is due next Monday, the 16th.
You're running out of time, people.
Right, right. So a little bit busy right now, but that's just part of the job. But yeah, so we'll tailor most of those to the client specific need, and then it's on a monthly retainer. So the hourly model, specifically in our industry, just doesn't seem to incentivize us to do work efficiently or help the client in being able to budget our service offering. Um, in so in the case that we're not incentivized to work better or faster or more efficient, and so I just don't like that structure for us
Right.
personally, and being able to provide value to clients in the best way that we can.
Yeah, definitely understandable. Have you guys ever ran into any type of roadblocks? Like, I know I keep saying it just because you guys are newer. I just don't. I guess I don't expect you guys to run into anything, but
Mm.
also I feel like in the beginning that's where every roadblock is. So I just kind of wanted to know if you guys have ran into any type of roadblocks or hurdles that you were challenged with, and then you had to force yourself to overcome it.
Yeah, I think I'm trying to think of something in specifically, but nothing's coming to mind right now. I do think that having a business partner who's been able to see most of those roadblocks already, having founded his own fractional accounting firm himself already, he's able to kind of avoid most of those roadblocks
Yeah.
from the beginning, which has been super helpful in us in our starting our journey.
Right. Because I'm like, I know if I were to start a bit, first of all, I have no idea about accounting. So I definitely would be like, yeah, I need to find the people who know about this. One, that's my
Right.
first roadblock. But yeah,
Mhm.
I wouldn't be able to do it. I already know it.
Yeah, providing those back office services, it helps that we don't need to go find those. We know
Right.
most of the, uh, especially also having been in commercial real estate and working for smaller companies for most of my career. The biggest company at one time was 200 people, but I'm used to teams smaller than 10, and so it you're just able to touch a lot more parts of a business when you are working on those smaller teams. So there hasn't been too many things that I've haven't seen before in one shape or another.
Well, that's nice. Because then you don't, it's like you don't stress out as much as someone like me would. I'd be like sweating bullets type of thing.
Right,
Be
right.
like,
Yeah. I
what do
mean,
I do
it's
next?
super common, and that's also just some of the expertise that we are able to provide some of our clients. It's like we've seen most of the roadblocks that they're facing. They know the real estate. We provide some of that back office support in order to support them.
That's so nice. So since you guys are newer, I'm guessing you guys don't have a lot of employees. It's probably just you and John, correct?
Correct. Yeah.
So do you see you guys in the future maybe hiring more employees so that you can take some of the other work off of your shoulders and you don't have to do so much?
Yeah, it's interesting. Our current work environment that could completely change with AI specifically in the
Right.
last year. I mean, we're seeing more and more people downsizing specifically on some of those earlier entry level roles, and so we're trying to face that in a way that's both responsible using AI with client sensitive data, but also utilizing the capabilities that it has, which I don't even think anyone really knows what those are at this point.
Right.
And so that's definitely affecting our hiring plan right now. Just as that continues to grow, we continue to use it, utilize its capabilities, and it may end up delaying our hiring plans further and further out, just depending on how much we see that it affects our business. But I'm definitely big pro on AI usage. I've
Yeah, I'm
always
gonna ask, do you think that that like kind of affects your business, or does it kind of help you guys?
Yeah, AI in general. My personal take here on it is that I don't think it's replacing our industry at all. I know a lot of
That's good.
people are worried
They're like,
about
I'm
that.
trying to replace you.
Um, I'd love AI to replace most of my job, but still get paid. That'd be great. But
Right?
no, no. I think that most of the people, we're just in a changing environment. It's not something that's replacing our jobs. Our jobs are just going to look significantly different um, a year, 2, 3 from now in the day to day work that we're doing. But no, I don't think that specifically our industry. There's so many nuances about what somebody's presenting or what somebody's doing in their business, and the accounting effects of that can be substantially different depending on that nuance. And so I think we'll be
Yeah.
around as accounting firm for a while.
I hope so. I hate seeing like when businesses like they're like, yeah, like they're so excited and like they don't stay. Like, you know what I mean? Like they kind of just,
Mhm.
I guess, fail. I don't want to say that word because I don't want you guys to fail. So I'm gonna knock on some wood so that that doesn't happen. But you know what I mean.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
I was just talking to another business owner yesterday, and he was talking about the amount of businesses that are made in a year, and then the amount that are actually successful. And I was just like, I didn't realize that that many businesses failed in a whole year. Like, it's just wild. I
Mhm.
don't remember the number. I just know it was like in the millions, and then it like went down very much. And I was just like, wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, yeah. It's an interesting world.
Yeah. So I'm like, fingers crossed your stays for a very, very long time, especially being here in Austin. I feel like there's so much going on in Austin all the time. Someone needs you guys. So
Right.
hopefully they
Yeah,
see this video.
yeah. Specifically to commercial real estate, we're seeing a lot. It's been a down market in the last few years, just with
Mhm.
rising interest rates that heavily affects our industry. But because we're coming out of a down market, we're actually seeing a lot of new players, um, kind of people who are more senior level in some of the bigger firms starting their own. And so we're seeing a lot of potential with that as these new operators are coming around, and they need this help sooner than later most of the time. And so we're able to provide that support there.
Nice. So let's fast forward and look at what's to come next. So where do you see the business in the next 3 to 5 years?
Yeah. I think that we're just continuing to grow our clientele. We're able to take on some of these bigger clients who right now we're targeting, like I said, some of the people who are earlier on in their commercial real estate firm's life cycle. So they may have started in the last 2 or 3 years. In 3 to 5 years, I see us taking on a lot bigger portfolios just because we have the staff to be able to support that. And just continuing to grow outside of Texas as well. So because we are a remote firm, we're able to provide these services anywhere in
Right.
the country. And so we're utilizing a lot of our relationships here locally, but I do see us branching out as our brand and our firms um, able to get that extended, uh, I guess, just brand awareness
Yeah,
out more nationally.
that would be awesome. Because I'm like, I'm from Illinois, but I know people, like, I have so many friends from, like, I went to school in Missouri. So I have people from Missouri, I have people from Illinois, and then I have people that live in Florida. People just live everywhere, all my friends.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, yeah, if you guys can't find anyone, I'll be word of mouth. I can help you.
There you
I
go.
I love telling everyone everything. I don't know why.
Yeah,
I'm just a human marketer, I guess.
there you go. You're in the right role for that.
Great. Well, you've had a very interesting story. I've actually really loved it. So as we wrap up, I do have a few rapid fire questions for you. Are you ready?
Sure.
Awesome. Okay. What is the key to success for you?
Uh, Providing as much value as we can to our clients.
Love that. What is one piece of advice that you would have for other business owners?
Make the jump, go all in.
I like that. This is kind of a fun question. So, if you had a little bit of magic dust and you could sprinkle it on one part of your business, where would that be?
Hmm. Magic dust on our business. I guess I'd say just getting our brand out to more people so that people know we exist.
Course. Yeah, that's why I'm like, hopefully a lot of people, especially in Austin, since you guys are a little local and it's probably a little easier, watch this video, guys. I'm gonna share it on my LinkedIn so that people will.
There you go.
Well, before we get to the final question of the day, would you please share with our audience how they can learn more and contact you?
Yeah, definitely. So, like I've mentioned a few times, I'm pretty active on LinkedIn. And so connecting with me there, Carson Harais, I'm the only name out there with that. And so we also have our website, CRE8FIN.com. So you'll be able to see our website's pretty bare bones at the moment. There is a contact you page, but the goal of our website right now is really just to provide here's what we do and here's what we provide. You'll know if you're a fit or not pretty quickly based on it. I think it's a good source of information there of kind of the services we provide. Also, my email is Carson at CRE8Fin. You can reach out to me directly. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, we've come to the final question of the day, and that is what is inspiring to you today?
Yeah. I think just seeing and providing this accounting services to all these clients and being able to truly make a difference in the way that they operate their business so they can be more successful. They can do what they're setting out to do and make decisions based off of the information that I'm providing to them in just a way that's meaningful for them and their families, as well as the communities and the um, tenants that some of their buildings that they're building are providing to their community.
I love that. Well, this has been a great conversation. I really enjoyed hearing your story. So thank you so much for coming on here and sharing. And also, I encourage all of you who are watching to save this show and come back and watch it again because Carson really did have some great insights for business. And don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel so that you can get notifications every time a great conversation drops, just like this one. Thank you to everyone who joined us today. And a special thank you to you again, Carson, for being here with us. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks so much, Jada.